Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Racha HaKodash. Double honors due to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, blessings, and safety to the Lord's elect. This is your brother Yeshaya, and this lesson right here, this video is going to be titled something along the lines, the mirth of Babylon is gone. Okay. Now, we just got through a partial government shutdown, so to say. Well, it's not done yet. It says right here in the article, Trump signs bill to end government shutdown and fund DHS for 2 weeks. Okay. So the House passed and President Trump signed into law a bill funding almost all of government. It puts DHS on stopgap funding for federal agents killed two people after federal agents killed two people in Minneapolis. And we know these are psyops, and that this thing is finna escalate. Okay, so we're just waiting on the FF to happen. They're gonna do something crazy in the next couple months. So we're watching for that. President Donald Trump on Tuesday signed into law a massive funding package to end the brief government shutdown that began Saturday. Okay. But you just sent billions, or you've been sending billions over there to help, the small hats. But your government over here is still in turmoil. Man, give me a break. The bill passed the House earlier Tuesday on a vote of 217 to 214. It passed the Senate last week. All right, Senate. More diverse than the others because you got the Senate and everything like that Rome introduced. The legislation will ensure full-year funding for the federal government through the end of September, and the lone exception of the Department of Homeland Security, which is put on a 2-week leash as Democrats insist on changes after federal agents fatally shot 2 Americans in Minneapolis. The measure tees up to a frantic 10-day window for Congress to negotiate a DHS funding agreement as Democrats demand reforms to rein in immigration and customs enforcement and customs and border protection. The new deadline when DHS funding will expire is February 13th. So, roughly a week and some change, okay, this deadline of DHS funding, and it might go back into one in the next, in the foreseeable future. You never know. Earlier in the day, House Republicans voted 217-215 to advance the legislation, a procedural motion for which Democrats provided no help. A vote on the bill was delayed by 1 day after Democrats privately indicated that they wouldn't provide the number of votes needed to fast track it on Monday. All right. So, So, hey, this place is done, man. It's more through than they're allowing you to know. Okay, because if you were to know, or the average person was to know, the everyday tax going American, okay, middle class, lower class, all that, well, they're getting rid of the middle class. If people were to know what really is the situation of the government, people would be offing themselves. People would be going mad right now. But it's all coming to pass. I mean, it's all coming to light. So we don't have to worry. Pretty much, pretty soon the Lord is going to unleash everything. Okay, it's a slow build, but it's been slow rolling for a while, and the Lord is he's about to do his work. So yeah, these are vast differences. He said, I would expect, and I'm hearing that there could be just another. We kick the can down the road a little bit longer until those differences can be worked out, at least probably March 1st. So, hey, just, stay tuned because we don't know what's going to happen. But, we're going to keep prophesying, keep bringing these things out. Okay, Isaiah 24:5. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. The new wine mourneth, the vine languish, all the merry-hearted do sigh. So there is no more mirth in this earth, man. Okay, the Lord has taken the so-called jolly or fun spirit out of this place, man. And for us younger brothers that haven't been in this thing long, we can see it. Okay, when I was growing up, I was born in '89. I was growing up in the '90s, early 2000s. It was just a different feel. Okay, like things it tasted better, the music was better, but the Lord is slowly drawing, well, quickly drawing this Mirth out of this place because He's gonna totally destroy it. All right, right now it's imploding within itself. Okay, He's taking the daughters of music is being brought low, the mirth is being brought low, the new wine, the vine. Okay, even the drink, the yayan. Okay, nowadays is you know fucked up. For lack of better words, man. And sulfates and all type of shit, and they're weaponizing it. So you got to watch it on all aspects. The mirth of tabrets ceaseth. The noise of them that rejoice endeth. The joy of the harp ceaseth. They shall not drink wine with a song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. Yep, because no matter how much you drink, no matter because the scriptures say that wine was made to make a man glad. Okay, give strong drink to him as ready to perish, which is an old custom. Okay, but now when you drink, it's like it just makes it worse, man. Okay, especially when you drink all the time, it's just gonna because it's a depressant, and you're gonna keep getting depressed until you're a full blown alcoholic. All right, believe me, I know. There is a crying for Salakia. The confusion of the city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. There is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. In the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. Okay. When thus it shall be in the midst of the land among the people, there shall be as the shaking of an olive tree, and as the gleaning grapes when the vintage is done. Okay. They shall lift up their voice. They shall say, for the majesty of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, they shall cry aloud from the sea. So that's going into something else. So let's go to the next scripture, which is let's see what I had. Second Esdras 6, 6 and 22. And it reads, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Okay, so these grocery stores, these places that have, these abundant, well, like we been saying, the grocery stores and things like that, they only have about 3 days worth of food. So when the trucking, the funding for the trucking stops, or they go on strike, hey, all it takes is a FF, or a another psyop. Okay, and these people are gonna go out and they're gonna empty the grocery stores, and if there is no load coming in, so to say, okay, then that's when this prophecy is going to come to pass, when the sown places appear unsown, and people don't have any type of faith, so they're going to fuck around and just lose their mind. And that's where the book of Second Esdras, the 15th chapter, comes in. Okay, they're going to be looting. All right, your best friend is going to be all up in your house eating all the Fruit Loops, the Doritos, the Cheez-Its, whatever these people eat, man. All right, and probably kill you over it. It probably murk you over it. You know what I'm saying? Probably unalive you over it, and take your wife, ravage your wife. You never know. But Lord willing, okay, we are gonna be protected in that day. All right, so you brothers and few sisters, y'all don't have anything to worry about if you keep, you know, in the secret place of the Lord. All right. Revelation 6 and verse 6. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. Okay, so the food is right. The loaf of bread, is going to cost a day's pay. All right, when that penny goes into the denarius, which is a day's pay. So it's going the prices are going to be stupid out here, man. They're going to inflate. All right, inflation is going to happen. Super inflation, hyperinflation is going to happen. All right, and these people, they're already down and out. Everybody's living paycheck to paycheck. All right, getting their homes repoed. Getting their homes foreclosed on, their vehicles repoed, and people are just down and out, man. All right, it says surely the expectation of the creature, the earnest expectation of the creature, is the waiting of the manifestation of the sons of the living power. Roughly paraphrasing. So everybody is waiting on the Hebrew Israelites to step back into their stead, all right, of their governing body, the 144,000 which will be given the bodies that they had, like as the Elohim when they were creating the earth. Okay, so uh, Amos 8 and 11, of course. I'm gonna start at 10. And I will turn your feasts into mourning, and all your songs into lamentation. And I will bring up sackcloth upon all loins, and baldness upon every head. And I will make it as the mourning of an only son, and the end thereof as a bitter day. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. Okay, and this is coming, a famine of bread as well. Okay, so when it says not a famine of bread, that doesn't mean that a famine is not coming. Okay, the Lord just wants to pinpoint and highlight the fact that His word is going to be hid, which is far greater than food, but He's just focusing on this aspect. So it doesn't mean that there's not going to be a famine. Verse 12, and they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it. All right. In that day shall the fair virgins and young men faint for thirst. Okay, so there you go. All right. One of my favorite ones, all right, because, when this prophecy goes down, the men of the Lord are going to, through the Spirit, going to tell you what you can do, okay? You're going to be a part of one of them four deaths. Jeremiah 15:1, then said the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, all right, the prophets, the kings and the prophets, yet my mind could not be toward this people. Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth. And it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, such as are for death to death, such as are for the sword to the sword, and such as are for the famine to the famine, and such as are for the captivity to the captivity. So you're just going to give them their sentence, like, get away from me, okay? You are either gonna die by famine, you're gonna die by this, you're gonna die by that, and it's just gonna be straight to the point in that day, man. Okay, nothing else to say, because the Lord, he had His prophets out here crying and prophesying. All right, but hey, you know what I'm saying? These people, you know what I'm saying? They they refuse they turn their ear and refuse the word of the Lord, and they're gonna get what's coming to them. All right, Job 5:20. Okay, 5:19. And this is just I like to put at the end of my videos when I talk about famine or anything like that, just a couple scriptures to lift the heads up of whoever's listening, okay, that's not built up in the faith yet and don't want to demoralize you, so to say. So with the condemning scriptures and the scriptures of judgment and everything like that, there are also scriptures, okay, that see the elect getting that picture the elect getting the victory. Okay, this is Job 5:19. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. So just as I read in Jeremiah 15, I didn't read the last part, but that's a part of the famine right there too. I mean the sword too, the beasts to tear, the dogs to tear. Okay, so we're gonna eat. We're gonna be safe from these from the famine. We're gonna be safe from pestilences. We're gonna be safe from even the beasts of the earth. All right. And it says for thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beast of the field shall be at peace with thee. So hey, the whole earth is gonna be on our side. Swallowing up people that's probably hordes of enemies that's trying to get you. Providing a place for you to escape. The Lord has it set up, so beautifully, and we're just waiting for it to play out. Right. So this is the last one. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 65, and I think that's verse 13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, Isaiah 65:13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Okay. Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but you shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. So that's the judgment for these people. Okay, Lord willing, we're part of the elect. We keep, we keep hold to this truth. Okay, and we have a crown laid up for us. So just keep pushing. Hey, we're almost out of here. Lord willing, that was a exhortating video. Want to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, the elders of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, safety to the Lord's elect out there. Shalom.